When the clock strikes midnight and the world sleeps, a train whistles in the distance. Its lone passenger waits. In the hushed stillness of the night, an unsettling scene unfolds. A deserted train station, bathed in the ghostly glow of a single flickering lamplight, plays host to a solitary figure. The lone passenger, a spectre in the gloom, stands in anticipation, his breath dancing in the frigid air. From the depths of the darkness, a faint rumble grows, a rhythmic lullaby of steel against track. As if birthed from the shadows themselves, the train slithers into view, a metallic beast breathing smoke and steam. It's an imposing spectacle, a relic of a bygone era, its iron heart pulsating with an eerie hum that echoes through the silent night. The passenger, drawn by an inexplicable force, steps aboard, his footfall echoing in the cavernous emptiness of the carriage. Inside, the train is a labyrinth of vacant seats and half-lit corridors, a monument to solitude. The soft moan of the engine is the only voice that fills the air, whispering tales of forgotten journeys into the ears of our lone passenger. He searches for signs of life, a conductor perhaps, or fellow passengers, but finds none. The realization dawns on him, a chilling thought that sends a shiver down his spine. He is the only soul aboard this ghostly locomotive. The train lurches forward, its wheels screeching against the rails, a mournful cry that pierces the silence of the night. The station, now a mere silhouette in the distance, fades from view as the landscape morphs into a murky blur. The passenger watches, his reflection mirrored in the darkened window, as the world outside transforms into an undulating sea of shadows and moonlight. His journey has begun, a voyage into the unknown, aboard a train that seems to have no destination, no schedule, and most alarmingly, no conductor. As the train disappears into the night, the platform stands silent and empty, basking under the cold moonlight. The train slows, its brakes squealing against the eerie silence. The first stop is at hand. Abruptly, the cityscape that once filled the window view is no more. Instead, the glass panes frame a dense forest, its trees towering like ancient guardians of an untouched wilderness. The train comes to a shuddering halt, its metallic body a stark contrast to the sea of green that engulfs it. The world outside is still, the silence punctuated only by the distant call of an unseen bird. The passenger stirs from his seat, his heart pounding like a drum against his chest. Fear threads its way into his being, knotting his stomach and gripping his throat. Confusion clouds his mind, but he is painfully aware of one fact. This isn't his stop. This isn't anyone's stop. The train, it seems, has a mind of its own. His fingers trace the outline of the window, the chill of the glass seeping into his skin. His gaze is locked onto the forest, its shadows dancing in the moonlight, the leaves whispering secrets to the wind. He half expects to see a station, a sign of human life, but all he finds is wilderness, untouched and unyielding. The train's engine rumbles to life, a harsh interruption to the quiet symphony of the forest. The passenger is jolted back to his seat, the unexpected movement pulling him from his thoughts. He watches as the trees begin to blur, the train resuming its unending journey. His heart still races, the adrenaline a bitter taste in his mouth. He turns to the window once more, the forest now a distant silhouette against the night sky. He is left with the echo of his own confusion, the chill of his fear, and a single haunting question: where is this train going? As the train moves onward, the forest fades into the distance, leaving only haunting memories and unanswered questions. The train slows once again, this time opening its doors to a barren desert that stretches out to infinity. The dense forest, just moments ago, is now a hazy memory replaced by the harsh, relentless expanse of sand and sky. The transformation is abrupt, jarring, and entirely impossible. Yet here it is, a reality that defies logic and comprehension. As if taunting the lone passenger, the once comforting rhythm of the train now echoes ominously against the stark emptiness. Each grain of sand outside seems to mock the passenger's predicament, whispering tales of timelessness and desolation. The desert, in its vast, unyielding silence, offers no solace, only a chilling reminder of the train's relentless trajectory towards the unknown. Inside the carriage, the passenger's heart races, mirroring the accelerating pulse of the train. A sense of dread fills the air, thick and palpable. The passenger's mind races, grappling with the surreal landscape outside the window. The transition from forest to desert is not just improbable, it's impossible. Yet here it is, a reality that breaks all rules of time and space. The train, once a symbol of journey and progress, now feels like a steel trap, its cold, metallic grip tightening with each passing moment. The passenger's eyes dart around the carriage, seeking an escape, a way out of this illogical nightmare. But the train, like the desert, offers no answers. The passenger's panic rises, mirrored in the haunting echo of the train's wheels against the rails. The realization hits with the force of a thunderbolt. This train, this journey, is not bound by the laws of nature. It's a journey through the impossible, the surreal, the unfathomable. As the train leaves the desert behind, the passenger is left grappling with a reality that refuses to make sense. The desert disappears as abruptly as it had appeared, replaced by yet another impossible landscape. The passenger is left staring out the window, the sands of the desert still echoing in their mind, a chilling reminder of the journey's relentless march into the unknown. The train's brakes shriek in the silence. It's the final stop. A city in ruins awaits. The iron beast halts, its metallic breath echoing through the night, a stark contrast to the deafening silence that follows. An abandoned city sprawls out in front of our lone passenger, a graveyard of concrete and steel bathed in the cold, wan light of the moon. The buildings, once towering monoliths of human achievement, now stand crumbling, like weary sentinels, weary of their watch. Windows, once filled with the bustle of life, are now mere hollow eyes, staring blankly into the void. Streets that once echoed with laughter and chatter are now silent, their stories lost to the merciless hands of time. Our passenger steps off the train, his footfall a solitary echo in the desolate cityscape. He walks the empty streets, his shadow, long and lonely, the only company he keeps. The wind whistles through the skeletal remains of the city, the sound a haunting serenade to this ghost town. With every step, desperation seeps into his bones, a chilling realization creeping up his spine. This isn't just a journey without a destination, it's a journey without an end. He's trapped in a cycle, an endless loop of eerie stops and haunting landscapes, each more unsettling than the last. He looks back at the train, its dark silhouette against the city's ruins, a constant in this ever-changing nightmare. It's a beacon of familiarity in a world that defies logic and time, a cruel reminder of his predicament. As the train whistles, a mournful sound piercing the silence, he steps back on board. The doors close behind him, the city of ruins disappearing in the distance. He's moving again. But to where? The answer is as elusive as the shadows playing on the empty seats. With the city of ruins disappearing in the distance, the passenger is left alone, trapped in this endless loop of mystery and fear. The train's hum is the only sound, a lullaby to the unknown as our last passenger journeys on towards the next stop in this train to nowhere. As the train continues its journey, the passenger is left with more questions than answers. Our journey, like the train, has been relentless, filled with twists and turns that defy logic and time. Our lone traveller, the last passenger, has traversed through an array of landscapes, each more bewildering than the last. Dense forests transformed into barren deserts, ancient ruins sprouted from nowhere, only to be swallowed by the void once more. The stops were many, yet the destination remains elusive. The passenger's heart pounded in sync with the rhythmic hum of the engine, a stark reminder of the train's ceaseless voyage. Every creak of the carriage, every jolt of the wheels against the rails, echoed in the hollow chambers of the deserted train. The silence was not a respite. It was a chilling reminder of the solitude, the isolation, and the seemingly endless loop of the journey. Fear washed over the passenger like a cold wave, yet it was not the fear of the unknown that gnawed at him. It was the realization of the known, the understanding that this train had no conductor, no scheduled stops. It was a train to nowhere, a vessel lost in time and space, and he was its lone captive. The unsettling truth began to sink in. There was no escape. Each stop, each landscape was a cruel taunt of freedom that was just beyond his reach. The passenger was trapped, not in a carriage of steel and iron, but in a twilight world that blurred the lines between reality and the unimaginable. The shadows grew longer, the night colder, and the hum of the engine filled the air with a haunting melody. The train, a heartbeat in the desolate night, continued its journey through the abyss, its destination as unknown as the fate of its last passenger. And so the train moves on, its lone passenger trapped in a twilight world between reality and the unimaginable. The journey continues and the mystery deepens.